guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my update video from weeks 3 to 9 or to 10. I'm 10 weeks today, so everything before this I will update you guys on everything. If you're new and this is your first video that you've ever watched of mine, my fiance and I were trying to get pregnant for 2 years, maybe a little over 2 years, and in October we found out that we were pregnant, and it was a huge shock. We're still excited. It still hasn't set in, so I don't know, it's just been a crazy journey already. But I won't make this intro too long. Excuse my look. I have not been motivated to do anything, so just bear with me on this whole thing. But let's just get started straight into the video. So like I said, I found out at 3 weeks, 3 days. We were at Javier's parents' house out in Nevada, and so that was crazy. But one of the things that I started noticing was I was peeing a lot, more than usual for me. I started getting like sharp pains in my right boob. Like anytime I laid down on my side, I'd feel like this sharp pain just like shoot through my boob, and it was super weird. And then I noticed that my cervical mucus, like usually after I ovulate, my cervical mucus will kind of just like go away, and it wasn't going away. Like, and I thought that was weird, and I probably should have started like questioning if I were pregnant or not, because that was really weird for me. Obviously I took the pregnancy test and it showed me that I was pregnant, so that was huge. And it was crazy because right after I like took the pregnancy test and like Javier and I kind of let it set in a little bit, it was weird how then like that night I started feeling a little bit of cramping. And so it was just weird how like the moment you find out you're pregnant, you just kind of like start feeling things. So it was super weird. I'm currently filming on my phone, so I can't use my phone to like show you what the baby looked like at 3 weeks, but I'm pretty sure the baby was the size of a poppy seed, so obviously it was just like a little dinky little thing. So week 4, that's when things kind of started to kick in a little bit, not a lot. I was noticing that I was getting tired. I wasn't napping or anything, but I just noticed that like I was just like moping around. Like I was just really tired and like exhausted, like as if I had like been doing something crazy that day and I hadn't done anything. I noticed that I was becoming a little bit more thirsty and hungry, which obviously I'll get into later, but I wish I was like that now, but I'm not. But I did notice that like I was becoming more hungry and thirsty. Like it was crazy. My boobs started getting a little tender, not like super crazy where like if someone accidentally touched my boobs it like hurt that bad. It wasn't that bad. I still had like cramping, and then I noticed that I was becoming moody. Like Javier would just do little things and I would just get super annoyed and angry, and that's not usually how I am. I like to think I'm a pretty laid back girlfriend, and so certain things would just push me over and I would get really mad. And obviously he noticed too. He thought it was strange. But week 4, I cannot remember what it said, how big the baby was. Probably nothing too crazy from off of a poppy seed. So it was still really little. Also, just so you guys know, I do use the Ovia pregnancy app. I use the Ovia period tracker or ovulation tracker before, and that's kind of what helped me track everything. Besides the Ovia app, I use the Bump and Pregnancy Plus. I just like to look at the different apps and see what different things they have to say about each week. So I do use multiple ones, but the main one that I use is the Ovia one. So if you are pregnant, I suggest using the Ovia app one. It's a really nice one. It gives you a lot of information, and it shows you, like, obviously the size of the baby, and then like the reference of like how big it is compared to this and that, and then there's a little hand and a foot, and it shows you like it growing. So at week 5, a lot of the symptoms I were feeling were cramping, light cramping, nothing crazy. I was still very tired. It actually started making me nervous because some of the symptoms started fading away. So like my boobs weren't hurting that much, and I kind of expected to start feeling nauseous by then, because if none of you know, if you're new to this video, I had a miscarriage previously, like 2 years ago, and I remember I was so sick. Like, I was sicker than a dog. And like, I know every pregnancy is different, but I'm that person, especially after the miscarriage, I like reassurance. So the fact that my tender boobs were not so tender anymore, and that was going away, and that I wasn't nauseous, like, and I didn't really have a lot of symptoms in week 5, it actually made me super nervous. So week 5 was just like a regular week. There wasn't a whole lot that was going on. But yeah, week 5 was super crazy. According to the Ovia app, the baby was the size of an apple seed. So that was pretty cool. I mean, still pretty little. So, and sorry if I'm looking over here at the computer right here with all of my symptoms so I don't miss anything. Week 6 was when things really kind of kicked in for me, and it kind of like threw me off. That's when my morning sickness kind of started to kick in. I started feeling sick to my tummy. I don't think I threw up during week 6, but I could feel it just like in my stomach. Never felt right. Another thing that started happening that was really weird was my back started to hurt really bad. Like, it almost made me nervous. Not almost, it made me nervous, because I know that not back problems, but like when your back starts to hurt, that can sometimes mean you're having a miscarriage. So when my back was hurting, it made me nervous, and I'm pretty sure it hurt for at least 2 weeks. So through 6 weeks and 7 weeks, it hurt a lot, but it's gone. It doesn't hurt anymore, so that's good. But it hurt really bad. Like, it was hard for me to move around in bed. It wasn't like my way lower back. I felt like it was more of like the middle of my back. So yeah, it was weird, and I obviously didn't like that. So also during week 6, we had our first ultrasound, and I remember Javier and I driving to my doctor's appointment, and I was crying because I was so nervous. Like, I was almost mentally preparing myself for the worst news ever. Like, I think it was my way of like protecting myself. So like, whole week of, I think 5, and then obviously a little bit of 6 weeks, I just kind of like, I don't know, I just felt like something was wrong, I guess, and was just mentally preparing myself for the worst news ever. So I got my first ultrasound at 6 weeks and 3 days, and it was insane because there was a heartbeat, and it was a special moment for Javier and I because when we were pregnant last time, we never got to hear the heartbeat at all. When I was pregnant last time, we were going in to the doctor's office, and I was thinking that I was almost 11 weeks, and we still hadn't heard the baby yet. Like, that's like, it was crazy. And obviously when she did the ultrasound, the baby was measuring 7 weeks, 6 days, and there was no heartbeat. So being able to hear the heartbeat at 6 weeks, just, it made me feel better. I was still on edge just because it's still early and things could have still happened. But the heartbeat was 110, and I do have a video, so I will insert that video here, and I will also insert a picture of the baby at 6 weeks. It's just like this little dinky little thing. And then my due date was confirmed. So my due date is July 9th of 2019. So that's crazy. July will be a crazy month after that because it'll be the baby's birthday, and then my brother's birthday, and then Javier's birthday. So yes, it will be an interesting month. I'm really sorry about the glare in my glasses. Like, now that I know it's there, it's bothering me, but I have nowhere else to sit without it being like that. Okay, also during week 6, I noticed that I wanted more salty things than sweet things. Yeah, sweet things did not sound good to me at all. At week 6, the baby is, or was, the size of a pea. So still very itty bitty, dinky little thing. Week 7, my boobs stopped hurting, like, altogether. Like, maybe towards the end of the day, towards like right before I go to bed, I would notice they felt a little heavy, maybe a little achy, but like I could touch my boobs and it like didn't bother me at all. So that completely stopped, made me nervous, obviously. And then I got really sick week 7, like throwing up. Like, I was throwing up at least 2 times a day. Like, it was miserable, and I completely lost my appetite. Like, nothing sounded good. Eating things were miserable to me. It was really rough, and I noticed that I was probably becoming dehydrated because even drinking things wasn't settling well with my stomach. Like, drinking water, even to this day, drinking water upsets my stomach, and I will throw it up just right away. I'll drink it, give it like a couple minutes, and I'm barfing it up. So that was crappy during week 7. I noticed my nipples were getting a little sore, and so that was interesting. I didn't really like that, but I mean, there's nothing you can do. I noticed that I wasn't too tired in week 7. I felt like I had a little bit more energy, which was weird considering that, like, I wasn't eating a lot, and I was just throwing up, so you would think that would make someone exhausted, but for some reason I just felt like I wasn't that tired. At week 7, the baby was the size of a blueberry. So just it's getting a little bit bigger, and it's still crazy, like a blueberry. I mean, it's so weird to me. So That's cool. At week 8, my back stopped hurting, which is really nice because then I was able to sleep a little bit better because the whole time my back was hurting, I couldn't sleep because anytime I moved, it just really hurt. So I was glad that that stopped. At week 8, I noticed my morning sickness wasn't so severe. Some days I would only throw up once, some days I would not throw up at all, and it was just, my tummy wasn't so queasy like all day, every day during week 8, so that was very nice. Got super tired during week 8, like all I wanted to do was just lay down and do nothing and close my eyes, so that's kind of what I did. I really didn't do anything week 8, so that was fun. I also had my second ultrasound during 8 weeks. I had it at 8 weeks and 3 days, and I will also put a picture up of the baby at 8 weeks. It's super cute. You can kind of tell that it looks like a little baby. In the picture at the very top of the baby's head, you can see the yolk sac, so that was pretty interesting to look at. The heartbeat was, the heartbeat was 174, so that made me happy that the heartbeat had gone up, which let me know like things were normal. Also during week 8, my appetite was coming back a little bit. I still tried to keep my meals plain and not like greasy or hearty or anything. It kind of helped a little bit. I don't know. It was just, I still kind of didn't want to eat, but like it was there a little bit. So also, from my last appointment, so at 6 weeks to 8 weeks, when they weighed me, I had lost 10 pounds. Like, that's how sick, like, that's how much I was throwing up. Yeah, lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks, which was nice, but crappy because that just shows how sick I was. And then around 8 weeks is when I really completely, like, lost my motivation to do anything. Clean the house, cook dinner, do anything. Like, I'm just barely now getting my motivation back. So yeah, no, I feel bad for Javier because he doesn't, like, dinner's not always done when he gets home because like I just don't want to cook anything. I'm not exactly like starving, so it's like the last thing on my mind, and I try my very best to keep the house kind of cleaned up, but after this video, so on Friday, will be a cleaning video, and it's an extreme cleaning video because that's how badly my house needed to be cleaned because I had no motivation to do anything. So I just can't wait to get my like energy back and like feel somewhat of like a normal person. 8, the baby was the size of a raspberry. Which was pretty cool because, you know, now it's getting a little bit bigger, which obviously happens every week, but it's just insane how big it's getting, he or she. My last week is 9 weeks. So at 9 weeks, I was throwing up at least once a day, at least. A lot of the time it was like right when I'd wake up and I'd get out of bed and like go to the bathroom or something, I would get up off the toilet and I'd have to throw up right away because that's just how it was. I also forgot to mention that probably since week 6 I've been gaggy, just super duper gaggy. So that was something I forgot to mention throughout the rest of the updates, is that I was really gaggy, and my lips have been getting super duper dry, especially at nighttime. Oh my gosh, it's super annoying. my lips will crack and I'll find myself putting chapstick on throughout the night because that's how chapped they get. 9, throwing up once a day, usually right when I wake up. I've noticed that like I'm very veiny in my chest and through my arms. It's like really weird and creepy kind of, but yeah, all through here and in my arms and up in my shoulders I'm extremely veiny, which I have read is pretty normal because of the amount of blood flow in your body since you're pregnant. My nipples and my boobs have become super itchy, like way itchy, especially my nipples, like holy crap. And then my appetite is back, but I still watch what I am eating because I don't want to throw up any hard foods. I can tell you though that I have noticed that pizza is a huge craving of mine. I think I've definitely eaten a lot of pregnancy. I've eaten a lot of pizza during this pregnancy. So, and it just sounds so good and it tastes good and I haven't thrown it up yet. So that's probably why I'm always gravitating towards it, because it's one thing I know that I haven't thrown up yet. So for week 9, that was pretty much it. Just throwing up, itchy boobs, very veiny. I'm tired still, obviously. I'm not napping though, so I'm not like that tired, but I just know that like I'm tired, and it's mostly just because I just want to sit down or lay down, but I don't ever take naps, so yeah. So that's pretty much it for my update video. Sorry if it was all over the place and not, I don't know, I felt like it was kind of all over the place, but I do have a lot of things to do, like edit and post this video. I'm leaving later when Javier gets off work. We're heading back out to Nevada. So there's just a lot of things that I need to do. I didn't want to rush through this video, but I definitely knew I needed to get it done just for you guys, so you kind of know where I've been at in my pregnancy so far. But just know that next Wednesday we'll start just the weekly updates, and next week will be my 10-week update. So I hope you guys are looking forward to these videos. I'm looking forward to making these videos. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and make sure you have clicked the little notification bell so you are notified every single time that I upload and you are not missing out on any of my pregnancy updates. Thanks guys for watching, and I can't wait to see you guys in my next one. Bye!